Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. No matter how simple a de Bethune watch looks outwardly, there is always a long and exhaustive story to be told because at de Bethune, refinement runs deep. But on this watch, the surprise and delight features are almost inexhaustible. We're talking about the DB25 Starry Varius Aérolite. This is a grade 5 titanium watch that launched in 2022. And it was in some ways the sequel to the DB25 Deadbeat Seconds Tourbillon of 2011. But whereas that was a 44 millimeter, this is a 42. In grade 5 titanium, it has that titanium that is light and hypoallergenic like grade 2, but also more scratch resistant than standard watchmaking steels. That's the advantage of grade 5. The watch is fairly compact at 42 in diameter, 11.8 millimeters thick as I measure it, 49.6 from lug to lug, with a 22 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. This is one of my all-time favorite de Bethune models and one I would love to own. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's very light, all of sapphire and titanium. And you can see that the watch, outwardly a three-hand timepiece, is not ostentatious. It's also not avant-garde the way the 26s, 27s, and 28s are. Not everyone loves that style. If you're coming from Holy Trinity, Lange, maybe a more conservative independent like Vaudeline and Rojourne, this is going to be right up your alley. The watch fits easily under a cuff, and I could recommend it on a wrist as small as, I would say, 14 centimeters circumference based on my 16 centimeters circumference wrist. Yeah, my wrist is 16. If I strangle it by pulling the strap tight, it's 15. So 16 right there. You see, the further away you get from the camera, the more you can see why I think 14 is the acceptable lower limit. It's not a huge watch. The strap features large and medium rectangular scale alligator leather in a dark blue with a semi-gloss finish, and you can see it features a sheer cut edge that's lacquered for refinement with a monotone stitch, and then on the bottom, small round scale gator. Gator on both sides makes for a longer lasting strap. It costs a few $100s more, but you'll make it back in durability, and this watch deserves no less. You can see the buckle, just like the watch, fairly standard, and I would describe it as a more conservative form by de Bethune standards, and at de Bethune, the buckle generally matches the character of the watch. So you can see this is very unobtrusive, low profile, traditional, conservative, and the case mostly is too. Sure, we do have those hollows within the lugs, but compared to like a DB28, we have a solid dial, a round case, fixed lugs, and that's echoed by this buckle. You can see these little ogival or bullet tips on the end of the lugs, the last styling vestige of the very first de Bethune product, the DB1 chronograph of 2002, and with the exception of the early DB20 series and some of the Dream watches, this has been a styling feature of every de Bethune wrist timepiece. We do have a fairly nuanced case with several different steps and character lines, and then a domed bezel, a knurled and unbranded crown, because unbranded is Swiss and French watchmaking tradition. Historically, crowns were unbranded, and Denis Flageolet, who is the co-founder and the watchmaking lead behind this brand to this day, he has reverence for tradition. Now, where he departs tradition is this dial. Outboard, not a whole lot that's unusual. We have radially arrayed Roman numerals and a sector-style minutes track and seconds track, by the way. The printing is all in blue to make for a nice warm contrast against the silver white of that toroidal and cambered outer track. And then the center is meteorite iron that has been treated with de Bethune's unique fire annealing process. So really what it is it's heat oxidation. This is done in a kiln. First, the meteorite iron is cut into a disc. The oxidation to create Widmanstätten, or crystalline-like patterns, that is performed, and then it is all fired and preserved so that the crystalline patterns will never fade away, and you will get this incredible kaleidoscope of colors from yellow all the way to dark blue. That's the full spectrum you see right here. Now, gold leaf and physical dowels of gold are used to create the image of the Milky Way band. And so what happens is the gold leaf is attached, and then these little cabochons of gold, they're dowels inserted into drillings in the dial. So they are all very three-dimensional and voluminous pieces, unlike the gold leaf itself. You can see we have polished hands here, And these polished hands are partly stylized breguet, as we have for the minutes and the hours. Then we have a deadbeat seconds hand, and you will see that is perfectly aligned with the index in every single instance. The deadbeat seconds means this is a de Bethune watch that has hacking, and very few de Bethune watches have a hacking seconds function, though that has been just about universal on their deadbeat mechanisms. We're going to turn this watch over now and get a look at what underpins the deadbeat second system. So this is an incredibly elaborate movement. This is the DB2109 version 4, and you can see at center we have two coaxial 14-karat gold escape wheels, which have been intricately media blasted, polished on their outer teeth, and then internally beveled. And so each spoke produces no fewer than 2 individual inward angles. So 4 spokes, 8 inward angles, and you can see those inward angles at the point where the spoke joins the wheel. You can also see the polish and the media blast. Now, 14-karat gold is a mechanical grade of gold, so it allows this system to operate basically unlubricated. And then if you look very carefully, you could see that one of the wheels is turning continuously, tensioning a spring that binds the 2 wheels together, and then you have 2 locking levers which are superimposed. Each of those levers features 2 jewels, but the jewels are in opposite orientation, so you can see how they rock back and forth, alternately catching and releasing. So that's how the system works right there. You can also see that there's a media blast under that structure, that the bridge over it features a combination of media blast matte and then fire-blued titanium. We have a steel cap to the barrel bridge and a steel cap to the base plate, and you can see both of those have been mirror finished to an optically flawless standard. You've seen Zaratsu polish on Grand Seikos. You've seen Pali Noir or black polish on Swiss watches. That's what this is, but not on a regulator, not on a screw head, the whole movement. And you can see why it's called Pali Noir. From every angle but the one reflective angle, it turns black. That's why it's called black polish. Notice at the edge that both the cap and the barrel bridge underneath each have extravagant mirrored anglage. I'm not sure how well you can see, but the teeth of the ratchet wheel atop the second barrel are micro-beveled internally. The barrel covers are snailed. We have a mirror-polished bridge for the tourbillon, and then you can see what is the world's lightest tourbillon. It has 63 parts, but they all amount to 18 hundredths of a gram. This is the world's lightest tourbillon. It's a 30-second tourbillon, so you can see how fast it moves. It makes 2 circuits per minute rather than 1, and it beats at 36,000 vibrations per hour like a Zenith L Primero, so you have the 1 hertz escapement and the 5 hertz escapement. The purpose of this manic double-speed high-rate tourbillon is better timekeeping. Not to be beautiful, not to be romantic, although it is both, but better chronometry, which is why at de Bethune tourbillon watches are generally adjusted to better than 1 second accuracy today, with the goal truthfully being no more than 1/3 of a second gained per day. Patents, quite a few. The deadbeat second system is one. The 2 barrels, which are manual wind but self-adjusting, meaning you cannot accidentally overwind them. They endow the watch with a 4-day power reserve. The balance, which is blue titanium and then bulbs of white gold, that is patented. The idea is to minimize the effect of aerodynamic drag on timing, maximize the percentage of total mass in the rim, and also reduce to the max the impact of temperature change on timing. You can also see the hairspring. It starts as a standard flat hairspring. It's then cut into 2 pieces with the outer curve shaped by hand, then clamped back together by micro clamp, endowing the watch with a flat hairspring that's thin like a flat hairspring and shock resistant like a flat hairspring, but breathes concentrically like an overcoil. And finally, we have a silicon escape wheel of de Bethune's own design. It is a lot. 30 meters water resistant, so you probably don't want to swim with this one, but it has everything else going on. I mean, right down to the polishing and chamfering of the screws. This watch is stacked. You can see why it is one of my favorites. And from the front, so poetically simple. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.